Hello, good afternoon. We are at Friday. May not seem much different than the weekends anymore if you guys are home all the time, but we're back to draw with you. Caden and I are going to draw with you this afternoon. So welcome. I love seeing all your pictures from yesterday, doing the rocket ship and the planets and all that. And then the mermaid ones have been great. I've seen unicorns. Let's see, the hermit crab we've done. What else have we done? There they all are. The parrot, the chameleon. So today we're going to do a castle. And it'll be fun. It'll be, I'm putting a bunch of shapes together and I'm going to show you how to come up with your own ideas. And then we'll do a princess, and I know I had some requests for some princesses maybe, and some dresses, so I think we'll do that today. And then we'll do a knight, because you can't have a princess without a knight. So we're gonna have fun today. This one could go on and on and on. We could add our unicorn to it if we wanted to, but I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to get through all of that with you, but I will love to see your pictures when you're done with them. Be sure and say hi. Tell me who's watching. Tell me the ages of the kiddos that are coming on. Make sure you share this with anyone else that you know might enjoy it. And I'm going to scoot over to my chair so we can get busy today. You gonna say hi, Caden?
Hey.
Hey. He's a man of few words. Who's on here today? Let me hear from you if you're going to draw with us. If not, you can just watch and then you can get your supplies together and join us another time, because this is always going to be available in the videos for you to watch. I also I've been working on adding, hey Lexus. Riley is joining us. Hey, awesome. I remember when she was, no, I'm thinking of somebody else. Sorry, I was like, I remember when she was born. No, Riley's older. I think I'm thinking of, I can't even think now. But anyways, welcome, Riley. So, what was I saying? So, supplies that we're going to use today. We're going to start with a Sharpie. A little bit heavier paper works well. This is my last sheet of this kind, so I'm going to have to find something different. May have to make a run to Michael's. I believe that they're still doing curbside delivery where you can order online.
Mom,
I think I did see. Huh?
Jason and Kinsey.
Jason and Kinsey?
JC
and Kinsey. Hi, JC and Kinsey. Thank you, Caden. Hey, Laura. It's Sophia. I don't know what your other kids' names. Welcome. Glad you guys are all here today. Okay, so I will probably have to get more paper. That's what I was talking about. Michael's was having where you could order online and then go curbside and pick it up. So if you need more supplies, that's a good way to do it. I got Sharpies. We're doing watercolors today. Anything that you have on hand, even if it's crayons or markers, don't feel like you can't do this unless, it doesn't matter what you use. If it's just a pencil or a pen or whatever, we'll have fun. Okay, so we're going to start. I'll probably do 2 parts to this. That way I can do the princess, because the castle, if we make it really big all over the paper, which that's what I want to do, we're not going to really have room to put a princess and a knight and all that. So we may do 2, where I'll show you how to draw a castle. And then I'm going to do another paper with a princess on it and a knight on it. And then I'll show you how we can draw our castle in the background so it looks like it's farther away. So it'll be up and it'll be a little bit smaller. But we're going to go ahead and get the idea on how to draw a castle. So hopefully you homeschooler parents can realize this can count for homeschooling. This is math, putting geometric shapes together. So we can count this. Not quite the math, Laura, that you would teach, but for me it's good enough. Anything that would lead to art math-wise, then I'll do it. Okay, so we're going to do shapes. So first off, we are just going to have we're just going to put a line. Okay, we're going to come, let's get where we need to start on our paper. We know where the middle is, right? Always get an idea where the middle of the paper is. We want to come down lower for this. So maybe if you just put your hand at the bottom of your paper. My hand's probably bigger than yours because I'm a mom. But anyways, put your hand at the bottom of the paper, and then you're going to put your line, and we're going to just do the ground that the castle's going to set on. And I did a line all the way across, okay? These lines do not have to be perfectly straight, so don't get too stressed about this. But a castle could go up and up and up, be really tall if you think about like Cinderella's castle. But we're going to keep it fairly simple. So the first thing is we're going to start with a square. Now I want room on both sides because I want to be able to add more pieces to this castle. But in the middle, I'm just going to make, and I'm coming right down to the line that I drew to begin with, and I'm going to make a big square. I have room on both sides. You could probably put your hands on both sides of it and still be on the paper. Okay, we need a castle door. So a lot of times the castle has a moat around it. Now we're not going to draw a moat in this one, but we are going to draw the door or the drawbridge or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to make a big arch. Yes, you can make a moat if you want to. We're going to make a big arch for the opening of the door. Now, you could make the door be a solid wooden door with planks that are going to go across, or maybe you want to make it look like bars because you want to keep the bad guys out. Okay, so I'm making it look like a gate with bars in it. Maybe put some little dots at the top of each of those bars. And maybe a little line so they look like they're little pointed bars at the top. So that way nobody can climb over the gate. So there's our castle gate. Okay. Now we're going to add a turret. We're going to do lots of turrets. Turrets are the round towers that are on the corners, or you can have them all through it or whatever. So kind of like maybe what Rapunzel was locked in and tangled would be a turret. When Sleeping Beauty, when she had to go up in the tower, when she went up there and she found the spinning wheel, that was a turret. So first I'm going to come down a little lower than the top of that, and I'm going to add a rectangle onto here. I still want room over here because I want to put a turret. So I'm just doing it narrow, maybe about 2 fingers wide. 2 fingers, your little fingers. Mine might be a little bigger. Depends on who's drawing what size hands. Okay. Now both sides don't have to be the same. So we're going to do a turret over here before we go to the other side. So on top of this rectangle, I'm going to go on straight up a little bit taller. And then I'm going to make a line beside it, the same height, going all the way down to the ground. Okay, on top of this is our first turret. I'm going to make a rectangle going sideways like that. And then I'm going to make a square on top of that. And then I'm going to make a triangle on top, but I'm going to make the bottom a little bit wider than my square. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to find the top that's kind of, I tend to draw a little crooked sometimes, so I'm going to just look right straight up and find a place where I want to put a dot that's kind of right in the middle. Then I'm going to connect that with my lines to make a triangle. All right, we want to put a flag on top of this turret. So I'm going to put a straight line, and then I'm going to come to the right and I'm going to make a wavy line. And then I'm going to follow this wavy line with another one just like it, but come out and touch the end. Okay, I'm going to come down here back to this wall that I did right here. We're going to make a zigzag with squares, not V's. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to go down and I'm going to go out and I'm going to go up or across. I'm going to go right, there we go, down, right, up, right, down, right, up. However much will fit through there. Okay, now on top of this first square that we made, I want to do the same thing, but I'm going to bring it out just a little bit. So I know that it's going to go just out just a teeny bit from the edge. And I'm going to go right. If you're left-handed, it might be easier to go the opposite. But I'm going to go right, down, right, up. See, I don't go all the way down to the line. Right, down, right, up. 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 Right, down, right, up, right, down. Just make it fit. All right, so over here, let's put some stuff over here. By now, you're probably kind of getting the idea of it. So you may have some of your own ideas. It can be symmetrical. Symmetrical just means if you folded your paper in half, it would be the same on the right side as it is on the left, or you can make it different. I tend to like to make things different. I don't like everything to be the same. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make a shorter square or rectangle. And I'm going to make, I'm going to leave that there first. I'm going to make a turret over here. So I'm going to go, whoops, well, it's not very straight, kind of lopsided, it's okay. Go up. I'm making one right across here. So I have a long rectangle on the left side. It's not as tall as this one, so this one's a little bit different. I'm going to do the little up, down, left, down thing, or right, down, left, or I can't even say it right now. Okay, right, down, right, up, right, down, right, up, right, down, right, up, right, down, right, up, right, down. So I'm making a little walkway on that turret. And then in between those, I will add my room. And then on top of that, I'm going to add my big triangle roof. I'm going to look up, even though it's not very straight, it's kind of wonky. That's okay. I'm going to just take my finger, slide it up so I know it's kind of right in the middle, make a point, and then I'm going to connect that dot down for my roof on that. Okay. So if the wind's blowing, all the flags are going to go the same way, right? So if I do a flag on top of this one, it's got to go to the right, just like that one did. So I go out to the right and squiggle down and back out. And then I'm going to do another line below it, just like it, out to the right, squiggle down and back out, and connect it on the end. So it's like a triangle flag, but it's blowing in the wind. Okay. We're going to still have windows and some stone looking things to add, but we're going to keep making some more shapes in here. So I'm going to add, I'm going to bring a line right out from the side of this tower, just a ways out. This is where it doesn't matter how you do it, how you build your castle. It can be whatever you want it to be, but this is just going to be part of it. I'm just adding shapes, and then I'll come back and add the details in. I'm going to do a turret right here connected to that, maybe a little wider than the other ones. And close that so it's like a square sitting right on top of the gate square on this entrance square. This one I'm not going to do any triangle or rectangles. I'm going to just go ahead and put a roof on it. So I'm going to look right up the middle, find a place to put my dot. I'm going to bring this right down on each side of that. We can put a flag on that one. Let's see, what else can we do here? I'm gonna make another turret because the taller it is, the more it looks like Cinderella's castle. I'm gonna make one there so if it doesn't go all the way over, it doesn't have to connect to that roof. So I made a rectangle, but it's behind it so you don't see all of it. And I'm gonna make another rectangle on top of that. Make a square on top of that one, or a rectangle. Do my pointed triangle roof. Connect that. Let's see, we need something over here, don't we? We are going to, let's see, what will I do? You know what we could do also? Let's just make some stairs coming down. So I'm just going to do like a stairway going down in between there. We could still do another building back here. Maybe we want it to be higher. A higher part. And then let's do the castle wall where they can look out. I'm sure you guys are totally getting the hang of this. All right, do we have room for any more turrets? We need a flag on this one. So I put a little stick on top. I'm gonna go to the right because the wind's blowing the same way and squiggle down and over. And then I'm gonna do another line right below it and connect it on the end. How you doing on your castle, Caden? Look, Caden's using his Sharpie to make some cool patterns on the roof and stuff. So I'm going to show you some of those things too. So let's do some windows. I'm going to come around and do windows. And this turret, all the way to the left, I'm going to do some long, skinny windows in there. Okay, I'm also going to make some windows with curves at the top and flat at the bottom in my tower. Not all lined up, but if there were stairs going around the tower, going the way up, you would have windows kind of in different spots. So if there was stairs in there. I'm also going to do some stairs over here in that space. Let's do a doorway up here. Now you could color any of these in if you wanted to make them black so they look dark because you can't really see inside, so it would be dark. So you could just go ahead and color those parts in. We could do some more windows in here. And we could color those in if you wanted to with your black Sharpie. We could make some, so I'm going to just show you we could make it all look like it had brick or stone, or you could just go And you can just make some random places where you have rectangles. So it looks like there's brick on or stone on it, and you don't have to do all of it. But it just gives the look like there's brick. Or you could do it where it looks like brick. So this tower, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put lines all the way down it. It's going to look striped here for a minute, but I'm going to show you if you wanted to make it all brick, you could. So I'm going to go all the way down. To the ground. Now I'm going to come back up and I'm going to I'll do 2 lines going upward in the first stripe. So the next stripe, I want to make my lines in between those lines so they're not right underneath. And then the next line in between those. And you just go back and forth making your line that's going down in between, and the space in between the lines from the row above. Does that make sense? And you just go all the way down, switching back and forth where you put your lines. They do brick like that so it will be sturdy. If they put them all lined up where they're all sitting on top of each other, they would just fall. If you've ever built with Legos or Duplos, were always something our family liked when the kids were little. And they'd learn how to stack their Lego or their Duplo bricks to where they alternated to make it a good, strong building. We don't want our castle to fall down. So you can make the turret look like that. We need more windows, wherever you want to put windows. So this is what makes it fun, is where you guys get to figure out what you want to do with your castle. And then we're going to paint here in a minute. I'm not going to do all the bricks on this part. I'm just going to make some rectangles so it looks like that's what we have. Tell me what your favorite princess is if you girls are watching. If you boys are watching, do you have a favorite show that would have a castle in it? I want to hear. What's your favorite princess that has a castle? I know Belle has a castle, and Sleeping Beauty has a castle, and Cinderella has a castle. Elsa has a castle, right? I don't have little girls around right now to remind me of all the princess movies. Hey Terry, glad you're here again today, checking in to see what's going on. All right, a couple of more things. Let's see, we need a window up here or a doorway. I want to color those windows. I like my windows colored in black. I think they show better. So I'm going back and coloring all those in. Frozen Ice Castle. Can you make this look like that? I haven't even seen Frozen 2 yet. Again, I live in a house of boys. Well, men and boys. but I have not seen Frozen 2, so I need to see it. That would probably be some neat art. We have painted Olaf before. Okay, a couple things on our pointed roofs. Remember how we made the scales like on our mermaid? You could do your roof just like that. A bunch of U's. You can make them short or mine are kind of long. Oh, I love your castle, Kaden. Whoop, my roof was getting a little crooked, but oh well. All right, so you've got the idea. I think you guys will get this. Okay, so we're gonna watercolor. Oh, wait. Down here where the gate is, we want to make the path coming out. So coming out, anything that's farther back is going to be smaller. So as it comes forward, the road's going to get wider. So I'm going to make it angle out just a little bit. Angling out. So it's wider down at the bottom of my page than it is up there. You can also, we could put some flowers. Those will be for another day, but especially with this Sharpie. Do some flowers up here. We don't really have room. We're gonna do another piece of paper and do our princess dress here in just a minute. I'm just making a circle, making bumps all the way around it for my flower petals. Just putting a few little flowers growing in front of the castle. All right, so again, there could be a lot more detail on that. We're gonna come back and paint that in a minute. But I'm gonna get another piece of paper and we're gonna draw a princess and a knight. And then I'm gonna let you all make your own. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to bump the phone. You're gonna get a little jiggly here for a second. So I'm gonna let you all put this all together how you want, but I'll kind of show you how you can. All right, is the one that requested a princess dress watching us today? I'm gonna show you, so just like we did our mermaid and we did our astronaut person, I'm gonna show you how we can make a princess. So we're gonna start with our, is this in a good spot? Okay, we're gonna start with our U, kind of our wide U. Make sure you got room underneath your paper. This paper is not very good for Sharpie. Let me put something underneath it. It's already bleeding, I can see. Okay. My paint is kind of bleeding out, so that means it just kind of spreads out because the paper's absorbing it. Okay, so we're gonna do, we're just gonna do a smile. I do a little swish for a nose, or a little side thing. And then I do upside down curves for eyes. And then you can go ahead and put little dots underneath them. My Sharpie, if I try to do eyelashes, I think it'll spread out too much, but you can add that. All right, so now I'm gonna put a dot up in the center above her head. I'm gonna connect that by curving in one way and curving in the other way. And then I'm gonna wait, because if you wanna make long princess hair, we need to wait. So I'm gonna stop right there. So remember how we do the neck next? So the 2 lines for the neck. Okay, so now we're going to do a triangle, okay? But it's gonna be a little bit curved on the corners at the top. So I'm gonna do a line going across first. But I wanna curve, and I wanna curve down, and I wanna curve down. Okay? So now, not clear down at the point, because she needs to have a waist. She can't have like a waist that's like this big. So coming up a little bit, I'm going to make some lines that curve, and you can make her dress as big as you want. Curve out one way, and I'm going to curve out the other way, and then I'm going to curve across the bottom. Okay, now remember how we did our mermaid arms? And she was dancing, so I'm going to make 2 lines coming out from the shoulder on each side, so they kind of curve out. So we have our arms, and then we'll do just a rounded end so we don't have to do all the details of fingers on each side, and you can do a thumb if you want on each side. You can do fingers if you want to, but we don't have to have all of that. Okay, so now since we're using a Sharpie, we'll have to use the lines that we make as part of the design of her dress a little bit, but you can add, because we can't erase Sharpie. So when you do this again, you might want to use a pencil or something where you can erase where like these lines inside the arms are, but we're going to just make it part of her dress today. So I'm going to make a little V, almost like a heart. There we go. We got a heart right there. And this is just going to be her little necklace, like Cinderella wears a necklace. And I can do on the skirt, let's do some scallops. Then I'm going to do another row of scallops. A couple little lines going down if you want. Okay, let's put some hair on her. So whatever princess hair you want, she can have it up where it's just like that and it's tied up on her hair on a bun or something, or you can make it come down as long as you want. I put a couple little lines in there to show the lines in the hair. You can make it come down behind her arms so it's really long hair. I would love to see if somebody would make Rapunzel's hair. Okay, do you remember how we did a crown on our mermaid? So right across the top of her head, I'm going to just add the line for the base of the crown. I'm going to come up on each side with a line. We'll just keep this one simple. I'll add 2 more lines. So I have 4 lines like that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to make a curve and connect each of those, or a V. Depends on whether you want it round or squared off or whatever. Then I'm just going to put little circles on the top of each one. Part of it is this paper is really soaking up my Sharpie, so it makes it hard to get details because it's kind of spreading out. Okay, so there's her arms. Let's see, we need some feet. We're just gonna make just little, just like kind of like the hands, just little oblong shapes. I'm gonna enclose the toe, and then you could even put a string that crosses it so it almost looks like ballet shoes. Do any of your girls take dance? You girls take dance? So I'm going to do one on this side. I'm going to close off the toe a little bit, make it dark. Then I'm going to cross that one. And there's our princess. So whatever, like I said, we kind of, with a Sharpie, have a hard time being able to design stuff, but you get the idea. So when you do, and I'm going to show you, so when you do clothes for your princess, you want to make the top, well, I'll just do a couple other outfits. So you can make it more of a rectangle shape or a square shape for the top, and make your skirt off of that. You can make it squared like that. You could do a waist with a big bow on the side of your dress coming down. And then, so I did the dress first, so that may be easy to do it that way. Leave a little space. I'm gonna make shoulders. So I didn't close it in, that's where her neck would be. And then you can make her head there. And then your arms would come out. Arms are kind of skinny there. I think her dress needs to be a little bit higher. We'll add a little bit to that. So there's a dress. You can put straps on the shoulders if you want. What? Read it to me. I can't read it. Dylan. Dylan is really enjoying this. Is that your youngest, Laura? Is that what I'm reading? Is that what? I think I read it from here. Sorry, my eyes are not that great. This makes me think of Cinderella when she was, before her fairy godmother comes. But anyways, just want you to see the dresses. Okay. Let's go ahead and put a face on her. And then we're going to do a knight. Adding her hair. Making her hair all wavy. Okay. So there's two different dresses. Oh, look, Caden, show your castle. Caden's been busy painting his. I haven't even painted yet today. We're just drawing. He's over there painting. Beautiful. You gonna sop it up a little bit? Okay, we're gonna do a knight. So for you, any boys watching, let's do a knight really quick. I got a really cute knight we're gonna draw. Because we need a knight with our princess to fight off the dragon. We should be drawing a dragon too, but I don't think we're gonna have time to do all that today. We'll get too long. Okay, I'm gonna turn my book this way. Okay, here, Caden, show your castle. See, he's got his all painted. See, oh, your drawbridge is down. Awesome. Mm-hmm. And you got your moat going around. Very cool. Alligators in the moat. You could do that. Okay, we're gonna do our knight. So we're gonna start with, we're just gonna, make sure you're in the center of your paper, so a little bit above the halfway. We're gonna make an upside down V. Okay. So we're gonna make, then we're gonna make straight lines going down on each side of the end of the V. And then I'm gonna make a curve going down and up to connect those. Okay. So before we go any further, I'm going to color in. I'm gonna make, this is part of the knight's armor. I'm taking sections of rectangles and just coloring it in all the way, like 4 of them is what fit in mine. Okay. All right. So we have that shape. All right, on top of that, this is our knight's helmet. So now I'm gonna make a round line or round bump over top of that. Then I'm gonna make a little ball right on top of that. And a feathery looking thing coming out of this.
Mom.
So there's just a wiggly line going all the way around and come back in. That's like his little feather going on the top. Yes, Kaden.
You know how there's like that and then that color and then that color? So this is the first class, the best class, and then this is the second, and then this is the
the class of people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have, that's the top of our helmet. Now, I'm gonna make another section right at the bottom, like a little round line that just, or curved line that goes right underneath the base of his, covering his face. Well, we won't see the not the pirate, we won't see the knight's face. All right, so now we're just going to we'll do 2 little teeny lines, not very long for the neck, not very long, just 2 little teeny lines, so almost like dots. And then I'm gonna make a rectangle underneath this. It's kind of like gonna be a little bit like the astronaut that we did yesterday. All right, now let's make some shoulder shield. I don't know what knight's clothes. I'm gonna make rectangles on each side, or squares on each side of that for the arms. The arms will come out a little bit farther. All right, we're gonna do a belt right here. So I'm gonna go across, make this a long skinny rectangle.
Mom, I finished.
Yes, good job, Kaden, I like it. And then a belt buckle. And then, kind of like we did on the castle wall, we're gonna make the bottom of this knight skirt, or whatever they wear, part of their armor. I mean, it came down and angled out just a little bit. And then I'm gonna go to the right and up and right and down, to the right and up and right and down, to the right and up and right and down, and connect that wherever it connects. All right. Now I'm gonna do 2 lines just coming out on the left side, and then 2 lines coming out on the right side. And then I'm gonna put a rectangle underneath one and a rectangle underneath the other. And then I'm gonna make a rectangle going sideways. These are his knight boots. Alrighty. So we got his legs and his boots on. Now we're going to come up here and do his arms. His arms, I don't know that I wanted them straight out, so I'm going to angle this line just a little bit. We'll just put stripes on there so you can't really tell that it went out the other way. All right, I'm just going to put a short part of his arm right here because I'm going to make a shield. So I'm going to make a shield by doing straight line, and then I'm going to come over here and do a straight line. Then I'm going to find out where the middle is down here and just put a dot, and I'm going to angle my line towards that dot and angle my line towards that dot. And then I'm just going to do a curve across the top. Now this is where you kids get to make your own shield that you want, and an emblem or something that represents what your family crest or whatever. It could be a lion, it could be a cross. There's just a lot of things, an eagle, just whatever you want to do on the front of your shield to make it. It could just be a pattern or a design. So maybe it could be one side might be striped, and then when I paint it, I might have it be red or gold or something like that. So that's all I'm going to do on that. You guys have fun with your shield. Okay, other side. He needs a sword in his hand. So I'm going to angle. My arm should have been coming down a little bit. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to make that angle down by adding a line. And then I'm going to go through and make all these lines go down. So that way I can make his arm. Because otherwise his arm was going to be sticking straight out. Now I'm making 2 lines coming out on this side. I'm going to bring the bottom line a little further so I can curve it up now, or point it up. Okay. Now, I want him to have a shield. All I'm going to do for his hand is I'm just going to make part of a circle. So we don't have to get all the fingers and stuff on. You can add that if you want, but I don't want to get where it's too complicated with that. All right, so we have to have the top part of the sword so his hand doesn't slip up onto the blade. And then we got the bottom part of the sword sticking out down at the bottom, and I just did 2 circles. So that's the handle that's going right through where his hand is. Now I gotta make sure it's straight. So I'm gonna do a straight line going up, and then I'm gonna make from the point of that, come out on each side and right back down, and there's his sword. Okay, you can make designs on the front of him or wherever you want. Okay, I am not gonna try to paint on my knight paper or my princess paper because I think it's gonna be too wet for painting, but I'm gonna come back and let's just paint our castle a little bit. Okay, you can make your castles whatever color you want. You can go with as much detail as you want on this. Let's see, what's some colors I haven't used? I don't know. Remember, if you're using watercolor, you want to get the paint cakes inside the trays nice and wet. And I just stir and stir and stir until that paint starts getting wet inside of that. And then that way my colors, and right now I'm just doing the white. There's black in it a little bit because it's been mixed. So if my castle, if I wanted it to look like it was stone, I would paint it kind of a gray color. You guys can do all the colors you want. Don't think it has to be gray because stone is gray or whatever. You can just have as much fun and use all the colors you want. Remember, you can paint right over Sharpies. That's why we use Sharpies when we watercolor, because they don't bleed when you get them wet. Unless, of course, you're using paper. That paper on that book that I drew the princess on was paper I got from Dollar General. Probably not the best for Sharpies. Okay, so I can do that. I can make my bricks darker by adding some black on there. Or I could make them maybe purple. But it's going to look gray because I've already been in the gray. I'm about out of purple. I need to get me a new paint tray. I think I have more of these. You can paint right over all of your lines. I do want to show you really quick though. So if you did a whole scene, you could do your castle smaller up in the corner. Shoot, I wish I had more paper. Let me kind of give you an idea of how you can make a layout, and then I'll be excited to see what you guys come up with. Hang on, let me get this turret. I just want to get some of my castle painted here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. I could feel that sneeze coming, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to stop it. All right. My grass. I want to get some green on my grass here. So my paint doesn't have green, so I mix my blue and yellow. That's how you get green. I got to get these really wet in here. And I mix it on my lid of my tray. That way I don't get all my colors on in my watercolor all mixed up. All right, let me show you really quick how you can put all this together in one picture. And then you kiddos get busy drawing. Caden has been drawing almost nonstop since we started doing this. That's what he does from the time we're done, unless we're doing something outside. He gets to drawing. He absolutely loves it. Okay, so I would paint my grass on this side, this color. Paint your sky. I don't know, once I get painting, I want to keep painting. Painting is so much fun. Make my sky lighter. That's kind of a gray green color. But you can paint every inch of your paper. You could draw some clouds in the sky. Just a reminder, you don't want to get your paper super wet. If it gets too wet, you can use a paper towel to absorb some of the water off of it, especially if you're not using very heavy paper. It'll start tearing up your paper. You may paint right through it, but you can just use your paper towel to get a little bit of the water off if it's too wet. All right, last thing, because I feel like we're getting kind of long. I would paint all that sky. All right, you talked me into it. Let me paint it all. There wasn't that much left to do. Kind of different shades of blue, but that's okay. Paint right in between my little wall here. All right, there's my castle sky. All right, now I'm gonna set this aside really quick, and I just wanna show you how you can put this whole thing together. So you got a knight, you got a princess, and I showed you on different paper, but if we did it all together, you can turn your book whatever, or your paper whatever direction you want, and you can put your castle, draw your princess and your knight, you draw them down first. So we got our face. She's just so happy. The birds are singing. I like the scallop, made me think of Cinderella. You do puffy sleeves, her arms, or okay, now we need her hair. I do her hair last so that way it's not in the way of my dress. That's why I wait to do her hair. Her shoes going on here. Okay, so we got her, but way up here, see, I do some curved lines. She is going down the road here. And then I can make my castle. So these are my hills and my curved road. So it starts really thin, narrow down here. This is kind of a whole nother lesson at some point. But when it's far away, my road is really close together. And as it gets closer to me towards the bottom of the paper, my road gets further apart. That gives the look that she's closer and all this is farther away. So we want this castle to be way off in the distance. So you would do the same thing as what we did with the castle. Now it looks like it's up in the air, but I'm gonna add land around it. So hang tight here if it looks kind of funny, like my castle is floaty. But just like we did the castle on the big sheet, you can do this castle however you want. You could build rooms and castles for days. You can make all the details you want. Okay, so I'm gonna make this. So see how I added another line on each side, so then it looks like, and then I can do my windows. So whatever kind of details you want to have here. My little flags. So there's our castle. It doesn't have to be just like it. You can make your castle different every time. So our princess is up close. She needs a crown on her head, so we know she's a princess. Whatever kind of details you want to have for your picture. So our knight could be, he can be standing over here. He might be in the way of the road, or he may be back. Maybe he's back farther. So he would be just a little smaller. Let me see. I'm trying to think what would be a good idea for the make as many hills and mountains as you want too. That always makes it fun, especially painting that. Paint all the different colors. We're trying to figure out a good place to put this knight so he's not looking the wrong size. Feather on top. Make it look more like a feather on this one. So I'm doing the same shapes that I did when I showed you how we did the knight. Okay. See if I can line up his shield to fit the road so it doesn't have a line on it. There's his shield. There might be a dragon somewhere. Does anybody want to do a dragon? I'm not going to do it, but I would love to see if you had a dragon. Now, I ran out of space for his sword off the side. That's why spacing is important if you want to have that. But anyways, I want to see your art, and I'm going to sign off, and you guys have a great Friday afternoon. I will be back on Monday. I'll give you the lineup of what we're going to draw Monday, or not Monday, but this weekend. I'll tell you all the stuff if you have suggestions. We've got some suggestions. I know some things for sure that we have coming up will be, we will do an Easter bunny. Did I just lose? I don't know if I lost my stuff, but anyways, we will do an Easter bunny, or a bunny for one. I know somebody asked for a flamingo, so we'll do a flamingo. Just give me some suggestions. We got tons of ideas, so we'll be doing this for a while. But anyways, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice and warm, I think windy, but enjoy your day with your family. And we will be back soon to do more art. So you guys have a great afternoon.